Welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth, the podcast where we empower women to be who they are gracefully while being unapologetic.
Hello, I'm Monique Fisher.
And I'm Alita Anderson. And today, as you see, we have a very special guest sitting in between us.
Yes.
So help us welcome Takeshia Reams, who is an LCPC clinical therapist. So today we are going to be talking about mental health. We've touched a little bit about self-care. We've talked a little about, just slowing down because things have gotten a little crazy. We're talking about the holiday season and going into a new year. But today we really want to take it back, and instead of giving our opinions, we actually have a professional.
Yes.
It's going to either say empower and embrace what we've said or tell us we were completely wrong.
Right. Either way.
Either way. Yes.
Yes.
So welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So before we jump into the questions about mental health, tell us a little bit what got you excited and how did you decide you wanted to become a therapist? What did that look like?
Yeah. So I always tell this story that I was probably doing weird things as a kid that maybe was insight to me get into this field. So things that I would do when I was in middle school, I was very into why people are the way that they are, right? So then I went through my zodiac phase, and then I went through numerology, like anything that told me why you were the way you were. Like I had books where it's like, oh, what does your name say about you? You know, I was like that weird kid. I'm like, Mom, can I get this baby name book? And she's like, you're 12. Why do you want a baby name book? That's going to be weird. But I just wanted to know all those things. And then that turned into, like back in the day, these had those magazines with like the surveys and quizzes in it. Yeah. So here's the thing. I used to make up my own. And I would give them to my friends, but I wouldn't tell them. I would say I got out of a magazine, but I just made it up. So I was doing psychology personality assessments at 12.
Oh my!
So think it was an indicator of the future Keisha.
Yes.
But that's how I got into it. I just really wanted to know why people were the way that they were. And then I took a law class in high school, and I took a psychology class in high school. I hated the law class. I loved the psychology class, and that was it. And then I always wanted to work with adolescents. I feel like that's a unique time in our lives, and you need all the support that you can. And I didn't have the best counselors in high school, so I was like, I want to be a good counselor, good. Also, had a good experience. So that was my path.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's I applaud you because the way you put that together and followed your path, so many people are like, oh, I like that, but I did this, or this is kind of this, but I went this way. So for you to just really stick with it and follow through, that really shows that it's a passion and goes for you. And I'm sure that helps you stay in it.
Yes.
That's how hard it is as well. It's your gift.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love what I do.
Yeah. And I think with anything with mental health or doctors, anything with caring for people, you have to love what you're doing because it can't be, it's not always fun.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to heart.
Yeah. You have to remember your why. That's so important. And my why is to help students, whether it's a little thing or a big thing. I just want to help them with that positive change in their lives. That's close to my heart.
And it shows. I have a daughter who is a senior in high school, and I don't know how many days Monique has heard me talk about, her counselor. So because I'm like, lady, what are you doing? And I feel like so many other students could get left behind if they don't have the parent that's pushing for them to get what they rightly deserve. Because I don't feel like it's a passion. I feel like it's a number. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, why would you just say that? Because that was a quick fix. And that's not really an answer. And as kids, you don't know. My counselor told me this. I'm like, no. So I do agree that that's such an important phase of their lives because you're basically steering them, setting them up for success or not.
Yes, and it sticks with them and they remember those people. I remember I used to work in CPS for a few years at this organization where we would go into CPS and do group therapy. And then one day I was at a couple years later, I wasn't working there anymore. And I was at a Bulls game with my parents.
Mhm.
And I was like looking this way, all of a sudden, like somebody came and like tackled me, like hug tackled me. And I didn't even see who it was. And it was a student at one of the schools in CPS that was now working at the United Center. And I was just like, oh, hey, you know, because it stays with you. You remember those people that support you, that have your back. And I want them to have those memories and know, you know, they're supported.
Yeah, well, hats off to you, because we deal with mental health not as professionals, just because the realm that we work in is emotional. Purchasing, selling, buying houses can be emotional. So we're not experts, but we do deal with people and try to handle them with kid gloves.
Need to call you.
All right.
And say, tell me how I'm supposed to do this.
We're gonna work it out together.
We're gonna work it out together, because I'm telling you now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a highly emotional time in people's lives. And, you know, with the day-to-day, and then say you're trying to purchase a home or sell a home, you know, what kind of things would you even give us advice as that kind of help people move through that space of just being so emotional? And so real estate moves fast. And so the highs and lows go quick. So how do you help people kind of even deal with a little bit of disappointment?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say be realistic with yourself before you even go through that process. If you can have someone who can be your mentor, I know that helped me in the past when I first got a house, is having someone in your corner that's been through it, that could kind of tell you what to expect. So therefore it reduces the disappointments. And now, like at work, there was a married couple and they're like, oh, we're about to get a house. We don't know where to, like, what to do. I said, oh, come to my office later. I got some time. You know, I could tell you what it's like, so you know what to expect. So I think always having somebody that hopefully has gone through it to set you up for success, to reduce those disappointments can be well. And it's kind of being realistic with yourself and knowing that you're not going to get everything, and that's okay. Because you can get it eventually.
Yes.
You know?
Then that's probably one of the biggest hurdles that we face, is the explanation of, one, trying to explain it so that it is realistic. Like, hey, at this price point, we're probably going to get these 2 out of the 5 things. If we want to get to the 3 out of 5, we might have to up the price point if you want to do this. So just kind of tell them that. And although it's coming off as the goal is for us to set them up for success, to be like, hey, just to let you know, this is what I have, because I want you to know this now instead of later, like you said. So it's not, you're trying to figure it out and work through it all at the same time. But it's not always received like that. Sometimes it's received as if, like, I'm withholding, like you just don't want me to have that. I'm like, no, I truly want you to have 5 out of 5 if I could do that. But realistically, if I just say, okay, that's not the truth, and that's not the reality of the situation. So it's hard sometimes to be realistic without coming off as harsh. In some instances, sometimes people are like, "Oh, cool, I didn't know. Okay, so what can we do? And what are some of the things? What do you suggest?" And they deal with that. And others is just hurt feelings.
Yeah, and I think it's important to name. I'm very big on, we're just going to name it, right? So, hey, this might be hard. I need to hold your hand when I say this, but I'm going to be open and honest with you. You know, I don't want to set you up for failure. I don't want to sell you a dream. That was a big thing I used to hear. I don't want to sell you a dream. I want to be real with you. And that's my job. You know, I say that to students that I work with, clients that I work with, like, you know, I don't want to sell you a dream. I'm going to be real with you, and this is what it really is.
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
Okay.
So just name it.
Naming it. Now, with the pressure, like right now, especially in this place that you are, I know it's so competitive with students getting into schools and then high achievers. And it's so, it takes, I mean, you think about school, you try to think about the fun things about it, but then it's like, oh my gosh, my ACT, my SAT needs to be this. I need to have this essay done. I need to be on these teams. I need to take these classes. How do you help people balance that or deal with high achievers so that they know, like you said, that it's okay, and just working through that? Everything's not going to be perfect.
Yeah. The biggest thing I tell students when it comes to them wanting to do all the things, and then when they become overwhelmed, the first thing I say is, I'm not going to tell you what to take off your plate, because if you do that, they will feel like defensive, like
Mhm.
kind of like you just don't want me to do. Like,
Yeah.
no. So I said, what can be shifted on the plate? And then they're
Mm.
more, they receive that better, you
Okay.
know, because you're not telling them to take something off. So I said, what can we change around on the plate, or what can be placed on a back burner? I would never tell you take it off, but right now we have to do something different because what we're doing isn't working.
Mhm.
So let's rework this plate, if you
Mhm.
will. And then they might say, okay, well, I really don't have to go to that one meeting because I have to go study for ACT, or the
Mhm.
ACT really isn't until 2 months from now. So let me focus on what's happening right now. But
Mhm.
kind of give them options so they can look at their plate and reiterate, and that kind of
And they make the choices instead of
us.
taking. That makes sense. That makes sense. And there's not that resentment piece in there,
Right.
or the I'm losing.
Like,
I'm
you
missing out.
told me what to do.
Yeah. Like, no, you never tell them what to do. You
Right.
let them.
You
Let them
figure it
decide.
out.
Yeah, but you're helping them.
Yes.
You're offering. You're guiding.
Yes. One of the other things that we talk about is not being able to be everything all the time to
Mhm.
everyone.
Mhm,
How
mhm.
do you show yourself grace? And that could be with students, that could be with
Mhm.
clients, like any. So what are some of the things that you tell people, like, how do you just step back and be okay with not doing something 24 hours of 24 hours a day?
Okay, so we'll break it down in a couple ways.
Okay.
So it's all gonna be self-care. So self-care, let me look in the camera. Self-care,
Yes.
self-care.
Right.
So a lot of times with my students, especially, it applies to everybody, but especially our Black female students, because they get that superwoman complex at an early age.
Mhm.
And I tell them, I said, it is okay to put your cape over there and take care of yourself. So I said, let's put the cape over there. What do you need to do for you? My students hear me say that all the time. What do you need right now? What do you need to take care of you? Whatever that looks like. If that's just, I need to take a break from things. If it's, I need to go take a nap.
Mhm.
I remember one time a student came in my office crying upset. I said, what do you need? Because the students that I work with don't, they live at the school.
Okay.
So I said, what do you need right now? And they said, I just need to call my mom. I said, okay, well, let's call your mama. If that's what you need, let's call your mama. And that's what you, and so it's all about what do you need in that moment. And it's okay to say, I'm struggling. It's okay to say, I need a step back, or I need a break, or whatever your self-care is. And then for us, the same in the workplace. I'm also a supervisor. So I have 2 rules for my colleagues. One, you take off your birthday. It's a requirement that you take off. You're not working. You're not working on your birthday. That's not, I don't play those games.
Yeah.
And that teaches us to have self-care. That teaches us to take a break and rest, and also celebrate ourselves.
Yes.
Whatever that looks
Whatever
like.
it looks like.
It can be just sleeping in and watching your favorite show, or you go and party in Miami or Jamaica, whatever your heart desires.
Yes.
So I say do that as well. And then my second thing that I always tell my colleagues that I work for self-care is to do not have your work email on your personal phone. If possible. If possible, because that helps with work-life balance.
It does.
And I do not like it. If I see, you better take that off, your phone, because you need that separation. That's how you take care of yourself. If you always hear that ding, then you're going to feel like you need to answer at 8:00 at night. So you got to take that off. It will be there in the morning. It will be there the next day. So time at home or away from work, that's what that time is for.
That is, and to come from your supervisor is such a plus. That reminds me of a funny story. A place that I used to work before, and they sent, it was like, it wasn't, I always laugh, like, it wasn't brain surgery, so nothing was gonna happen, and we didn't answer right then and there. It was gonna be sitting there waiting for us the next day. But I had a manager who was like, if I email you at 7-8 o'clock at night, then you see me in the morning, like, why you didn't respond? So I was like, this is a little crazy. Like, why do you keep me? So I said, you know what? I think it was 5 or 6. I don't remember which time it was, because they were in a different time zone. And I said, I don't even get it till the next day. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I said, what do you mean? I don't read it. So you don't read it? I said, no. I said, because I'm not working at that time. When I log back in, I'll see it.
Yeah.
And if it's something of that urgency, that just call me. But I don't really think we have anything that urgent. So what do you call? And it's like, So afterwards, it was funny because we were in a meeting, and afterwards, my coworker was like, "I am so glad you said that because that is just annoying." She's like my daughter has said to me several times, like, "You're always on the phone. You're always this and that." And I was like, "Yeah, because you might not have anything to do, and you might enjoy that, and that's okay. But don't expect me to do that because I'm not." So I think even if your supervisor doesn't set that expectation, I think if you set the expectation for yourself, now. The precursor is you still need to do your work.
Yes.
So don't be like, hey, I'm not doing like, if they're calling you because something was due at 3 and it's 6 and you didn't, and that's a little different. But typically, you have that work life, and as long as you're doing what you're supposed to with those hours, you do have the right to do that because it's all going to be there. And those memories with your family, the things for your health, those are not things that are up for debate. You need to make sure those are good because whether you work there, I mean, even if you end up retiring there, it's still not going to be the thing. If God forbid you're on your deathbed or something, like, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I answered that email. Like, that's not going to be it.
They're going to have your job posted before you on the ground. So you need to take care of you.
You do. And it's not. Right. And sometimes I think people feel like when they don't respond or they're like, it makes them look as if they're not doing their job, where I have to do this. And that's just not the case.
Nope, it will be there on Monday. It will be there tomorrow, whatever day. You got to take care of you.
And I think when you work somewhere, people genuinely care about you. It makes you want to work more for them. Exactly. You know what I mean? To get those things done. It's a reciprocal because they genuinely care about the person. Care about you as a person.
Yes.
So hats off. Your employees are lucky.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so like day-to-day interactions. We talked a little about the emails, how people behave in meetings. Like there's no clear line from like if you have a crazy day at home or whatever else, then you have to go to work. So a lot of stuff spills over and vice versa. Stuff from work spills over to home. Yeah. So the mental health piece, like how do you suggest people balance it all without it? People being like, what in the world? Like, where did this come from? Because sometimes you don't know. Like, I don't know. All I said was, how was your weekend? And then all of a sudden it sent you off. Like, what is that?
Yeah. I think is same way you leave work at work, you're going to have to leave home at home at the same time. Like I've had moments where I haven't been in the best space on my way to work, but I can't let that impact the students I work with. I can't let that impact my colleagues because that ain't got nothing to do with them. So why am I taking that on? Right. That is an unhealthy defense mechanism that is displacement. So it goes back to Psych 101. So if you're upset about, they used to say of course, it's back in the day. So if the boss upsets the husband, then the husband yells at the wife, and then the wife yells at the son, and the son gets the dog. That's how it was described to us, right? So it's the same thing, right? If I'm upset about something in my personal life, and I come and yell at a kid, that doesn't work,
right?
So it's about knowing how to separate things. So saying I can't be upset at work and then come home and yell at someone, and I can't go to work and yell. So it's just about keeping them in their own spaces because that's not fair to other people,
right?
Right. And if you find yourself yelling at everybody and for the wrong things, then you kind of gotta do a check. What's going on with me? How do I fix whatever is happening here?
And that's a good point because I think sometimes people that may have not been in therapy or have seen a therapist, like, they're like, well, I'm not doing. People feel like you have to be 100, like over the rails before you're like, I'm thinking about hurting everybody in my house. No, it doesn't have to be that serious. What are some of the signals or signs where you're just like, hey, you might need some additional help with figuring out how to displace anger? How to function, how to balance, because that might be what's pushing you over is just juggling all the things.
Yeah, it goes with when you need counseling. I say people come counseling for the good, the bad, and everything in between. That's what I tell everybody, right? We're going to celebrate the highs. We're going to work through the lows and everything in between. So I think obviously therapy's good for everybody. For everybody. That's good. Just because it's good to have like a safe space, right? And the benefit of it is if you go to your spouse, if you go to family, they are going to be a little biased or judge you. With me, I'm not judging anything. It's just
Right.
safe space. Wherever you say in here, as long as you're not gonna hurt anybody, we gonna
We good.
leave it in here
Mhm.
and we gonna navigate it. And there's no judgment. So some of the signs would be, how is it impacting your day to day? So is there something that you used to love doing that you don't love doing anymore? That's an indicator.
Mhm.
If you're starting to feel, if you can't go to sleep at night, that can be anxiety, that can be stress. Anxiety is a very physical thing. If you start feeling something in your stomach all the time, uneasy, you can't relax,
Mhm.
those are indicators something's happening. You know, if you're being more angry, more irritable, that could be placed with depression. You know, a lot of people think depression is just sad. No, it could be irritable. It can be loss of things you like to do. It's not just crying all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Especially with males. A lot of times when they're depressed, it's going to come out as anger. And then when you talk to them, you find out that they're experiencing depressive mood for fill in the blank reason.
Gotcha.
So just notice if you're starting to see changes in yourself, if you're not as happy or enjoying the things that you used to,
Mhm.
or you're feeling more like uptight, you know, being tense all the time, that's anxiety in your body.
Yeah.
So just starting to check yourself and see, am I noticing things as if, do I feel off? And
Mm.
maybe I need to go talk to someone.
Okay. Those are some good points. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it looks different, especially in our communities.
Yeah.
We still,
It looks, because
Yeah.
we carry so much.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you're right, when you talk about the young Black female students, they get that from their moms. And we do
Mhm.
have that superwoman whole
Mhm.
complex that we have to do it all.
Mhm.
So how do we set boundaries? How do we learn how to say no?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Say it. Say it. Say it.
No.
Say it. No. Or not right now. I'm a
Not-
big not right now.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So say somebody comes to you at work and it's like, can you help me with this? And you already swamped, you already stressed. You say, not right now, but at 2 I got some time, or tomorrow at 9 I got
Mhm.
some time. So
Okay.
I'm a big not right now. You're still
Okay.
helping people, you're still being productive,
Mhm.
but you could tell somebody else not right now, or you could tell yourself not right now. You know, and that might feel a little bit easier than the no, but I do believe a no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we say that. We
Yes.
do
No
say
is a
that.
complete sentence. So, and that's okay. Setting boundaries is good for yourself, because then it's, and others, because it's teaching people how to
How
show
to
up.
respect
Yes.
talk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they'll learn real quick. They'll learn. It don't take much.
Right. And I find too, a lot of times, especially with the not right now, or if you're like, ooh, let me give you a call right back. Or, you know, sometimes it's just organically happen when you're in the middle of something, like, I can't get it. And then you do circle back with them. What I find a lot of times is that they figured it out.
Mhm.
Because you were just the first, it was easier just to come to you
Mhm.
and be like, oh, so you can be like, blah, 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 versus them actually trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
So I think it helps them to realize that I shouldn't be, not all, in all times, be the first point of
And
reference.
Keisha, that's my friend right there. Not right now. I love it. I learned from her. She'd be like, nah, exactly what you said. Tomorrow too. We can talk about it. We can talk about it right now. But and it's respectful though. It's very, and it's protecting you.
You're protecting yourself, your time, and then they're learning to respect your time and knowing that they don't have access to you all the time.
No, they got to make an appointment to see a leader.
But you know what?
Don't just roll up.
Because it throws me off.
Mhm.
And like you said, then I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm supposed to be doing this, so I didn't get that done, so I'm gonna push this back, so I'll push this. And then it's 7:00 at night and I'm working on this stuff that I could have had done at 5
earlier.
Because then I'm mad and I'm sitting there doing it, but who am I mad at? Because nobody made me do it.
Right.
And it's so funny. I think I learned that too from my kids. Like I would be like, because I didn't. And they're like, well, why did you just not do it then? Like I asked you, but you like now I'm here running across town to pick this up because like we didn't need to do it right. We could have done this on Saturday. And I'm like, you right. I just was like, okay, I said okay to it, but now I'm mad because it's adding more things to my plate. But that was my own fault.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Adjust that plate, like we talked
exactly.
about. Adjust that plate. What can go over here?
Mm-hmm. So now it's not a thing. And the same thing when I ask other people stuff, I'm like, okay, when can you fit? I get it because I'm like, there's 24 hours in a day. So sometimes stuff gets moved to tomorrow or the next day or something like that. If it can be.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything is not urgent.
Yes, it's not.
But and the other thing that our kids laugh about is I'm like, your lack of planning is not my emergency.
Yes.
Because you knew about this 3 weeks ago. Like, what I need. Okay, so why didn't you tell me this? Well, it's too late now. It is. So what we're not gonna do is now make this my issue.
Right.
So
that teaches people consequences.
It does because you waited. Now I understand some things will pop up and just happen.
Oh,
you can't plan everything.
But stuff
but
that,
most
like
of the
said,
time,
if you've known about it for 2 weeks, now it's 2 hours before.
Yes.
No. Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
No.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Girl, I got me some words and phrases now. Y'all thought I was something. Just wait.
That is funny. I think one of the big things we hear often is that this is now caused by like the way that people interact with each other, or the lack of interaction with each other. It's like, oh, that happened with COVID, and now people are trying to figure they can't do that because back in COVID we did this, and now people returning to work, and because of COVID, kids can't do this, and people don't know how to do that. And I'm like, okay, 2021, 2022, I get it. It's 2026. Like, I don't want to dismiss what people are saying, but how do you feel about the COVID bubble still being like the answer or people's answers for so many different things of why they do certain things?
They like a scapegoat and they like a reason, something to blame of why they can't do fill in the blank. And yes, COVID happened and COVID was real, but like you said, it's 2026. So how we gonna work on this right now? So maybe that was a struggle or a concern back then, but now we got a problem solved to address it now. And I think that's all it is. It's just let's problem solve today. Going back to what do you need right now? Okay, that happened X many years ago. What do you need right now to address the concern? So just accountability and problem solving. That's what we need to do in 2026.
Yes.
I
think accountability is huge.
Yeah.
We've lost so much accountability or making accountability a requirement. I mean, before you start pushing the blame on everybody else, what part did you play in this?
Right.
And how have you caused the situation that you are possibly in? It's so much easier to look at external factors than to look at yourself. For everybody. For everybody. It's like, it's quicker. It's an easier pill to swallow.
Yeah. I always say, like, we're all going to be triggered by fill in the blank. Whatever it is, we can't. I tell students and my clients, we can't stop being triggered, but we can control how we respond to it.
Ooh,
okay.
Yes.
So if I always say this, I said, there's nothing wrong with feelings, good feelings, what people think are bad feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. But what can be questionable is what do you do with those feelings, right? So if you're upset and you go punch somebody, there's nothing wrong with being upset, but maybe the punching part, maybe.
That was a little over the top.
Right. And let's talk about your mama, then, hey, that's another story. But but there's nothing wrong with feelings or these external factors. But what are you going to do?
Right. Reaction to it. I love it.
I'm glad to really hear you talk about the COVID thing, that it's over, because when I've talked to different people, they always say, well, Monique, COVID happened. And I'm thinking COVID started March of 2020. This is almost March of 2026. When do we get over it? And I think sometimes the news and media, the way they put things out there, because last year those kids were going to kindergarten and they were saying that their productivity was low because they were COVID babies. I'm like, they were babies. They were arm babies. So what happened with mom and them from ages 2 to 4 preparing them for school? So why is that a problem of COVID? But it's just people love to have an excuse for things.
Something to blame.
And that's kind of the faddish word or the word now, just to say, blame it on COVID. Yeah. So, okay. I like that.
Now, what are some
send a lot of people to you.
She'll be like, I have someone you need to
Yes.
Now, getting through the day, especially, so in the service industry, we work with several different people. Okay, and with the brokerage, we manage agents
Yes.
which are people with feelings, emotions, everything else.
mhm.
And then we also have our own clients.
Yes.
It's another set of people. So going through the day in not just real estate, any service-based business, and even if you just are an employee and work with other people,
Mhm.
dealing with your stuff and other people's stuff can sometimes be difficult throughout the day. So we've got you gave us some great pointers as far as self-care, like how to, just take a pause on it. But like even during the day, what are some of the things where sometimes you're just like, I need just a minute just to gather my thoughts and myself. What are some pointers that you have?
Yeah. So grounding is a great thing that all therapists talk about. Grounding when you just need a minute or you're experiencing a little anxiety, a little stress. So the most popular one, you Google it, would be the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Okay. So say you're just at your desk and you're just like, I can't do it. And the room may be starting to feel bigger, like whatever the problem is getting big. You want to ground yourself. And grounding comes with your senses. You do anything that is based off your senses.
Okay.
So 5-4-3-2-1, you look for 5 things in the room. So you could just look and name the 5 things in the room. Then you look for 4 things in the room that you can touch. So some people like soft things. Some people like something sturdy. Then you do 3 things that you can hear, right? So maybe you hear the coffee pot or something. You hear maybe the people talking outside your office or your cubicle, or you hear the modem of your computer. Then you do 2 things that you can smell. So maybe you smell coffee, or you smell, I don't know if you got a candle or some type of diffuser.
Okay.
And then 1 thing that you can taste. That is like classic grounding. So if you're feeling panic or feeling stress, it's 5-4-3-2-1.
Okay.
Other things, deep breaths. I'm a big 3. So like inhale 1, 2, 3, and then exhale 3, 2, 1. Stretching is another thing you can do. Other things that I like to do is listen to music. Once again, it's based off your senses. And I purposely love to go back to whatever, I tell people, go back to whatever your jam was in middle school. Whatever your jam was in middle school will make you feel good. See, you're smiling already, you're thinking about it, right? So I always tell people, what was your jam? All right, let's listen to it. Okay, because that just takes you back probably to a time you wasn't stressing about all this work stuff.
Right.
And then you're excited. Another thing, if you can, I know you mentioned a few minutes, but if you can get up and walk, whether it's in the office or outside, I think that's a huge thing. Walk with someone. If you have a favorite coworker, see if they're available. I remember when I first started working at a school, and I was just, this is a lot going on. And one of my coworkers came and just checked on me and was like, are you okay? I'm like, no. And then he was like, do you want to go for a walk? I'm like, yes, let's go for a walk. And it was cold. It was like wintertime, like now. And we just walked around the school. And then that became our norm. We did that every day. One of us would check on each other and be like, is it walking time? And we'll be like, yes, or in 10 minutes, not right now, but we're going to get to that walk. And we're going to walk. We'll talk about work, or we'll not talk about work. And that just something to do to reset yourself. So therefore, when it's over, you can go back to work and stuff.
Wow.
So anything with your senses, anything, moving, like I said, smell, listen to music, anything with your senses, going to calm you down.
So you see me in that hall there stretching and counting.
Like,
you all right?
Over there.
When I put my Luther Vandross on,
Hey,
you
do
don't
what
know.
you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Or humming. I'm a big hummer.
Oh, okay.
My coworker pointed out, she's like, you hum a lot. And I said, I'm stressed. So this is my way of getting it out.
Okay.
Hum while I walk.
I love those. And I love that you can do those anywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not something where you're like, oh, I have to go to. You can pretty much do all those anywhere. Some really good tips. So,
because sometimes people say, let's get a massage. Now, if it's scheduled, but then, then if I'm stressed, now I got to call, make an appointment, and then I got to get there. Yeah, so that is great advice. Yeah.
You said that, it reminded me that not too long ago, I had a massage schedule, and I was checking in, and this lady was there. She was like, look, I came here because I'm stressed. You asking me all these questions. You making it worse. I started laughing when you said you tried to. She was like, I am just trying to, and I was like, that was a good point.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry.
He go to money, get a massage therapist, and let me go. Where the locker room? Make it basic.
Right.
So I was like, perfect advice. I was like, that was perfect. So when you said that, I was like, sometimes that does help.
Sometimes that's like adding one more thing.
One more thing to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because in the moment, like you mentioned, everything seems so big and just like, oh my
It
gosh.
does.
And then most of the time you can look back on it and just kind of laugh at yourself, like,
yes.
okay, maybe I was being a little extra there, maybe, but it's just getting through it. So having those coping mechanisms really help you to like push through so that you can look back on it and be like, okay, I made it through. It wasn't as bad as what I thought in the moment of it. But when things are going on, they happen fast. Your emotions are high, so it does seem bigger than what it actually is most times.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then you just bring it down.
Do you ever recommend journaling? People keep
I feel there's a good what's like power in writing things down because it gets it out of your head, right? So a lot of times, like so it's like, oh, I have so much to do, and I said, let's write it down, right? And then once they write it, like, oh, it actually isn't that much. I'm like, right, it just seems like a lot because it's bouncing around in your head. So I definitely encourage journaling or writing lists. I'm a big list writer. That's my jam. So yeah, I do believe in doing that.
I like the list thing too. Yeah, just
I like the list and calendars. Yeah, I'm like, I move around a lot, so I was like you said, in my head, I'm like, I got to get here, do that, do that, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But then when it's on my calendar, I just kind of let it go. I'm like, okay, I'll just check it and see where I need to be.
Once it's written down,
instead
then
of trying to figure it
it's
out.
out of your head.
And when I do my list, I always put 2 things on there I know I'm gonna get done. There you
go.
And it may just be take a shower and drive to work.
There you go.
I'm gonna add that to mine.
So if I'm getting down, I don't feel bad about myself. I got this.
I like that.
I'm gonna steal that.
I like that. Yes.
I'm like, well, I feel good.
I'm accomplished.
Accomplished. I did something today. Don't say I didn't do anything.
Look, check.
Come on now.
Yes.
Oh goodness. What are some of the things too, as we're talking about like preparation and to bring down some of the anxiety, like starting the week off, like if you have any best practices, like, okay, it's Sunday, we want to prep for the week, game time, so that we're not running through the week or being overwhelmed.
Yeah, it goes back to writing things down. I've been doing that since college. I used to actually on Sundays have my planner. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on it, like no more than 10 minutes, where I would just look to see what I need to do for the week and write out what's each day is going to look like. It shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. And then once you write it down, you leave it alone. Gotcha. You don't keep going back to it. It's there, 10 minutes, done. And then it kind of helps you relax. And sometimes your mind might want to keep thinking about it, but then you'll have to, and this takes practice, you kind of have to talk yourself out of it. Like, nope, it's over there.
Right.
So we're going to leave it over there. Okay. So that's a big practice that I like to do. Use a planner, use a calendar, and just write out what needs to get done for the next day or so.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. Oh, and then I always have this mantra that I tell students or I tell my clients, worrying about something 2 a.m. on Monday morning is not going to help Monday at 10 o'clock a.m. So worrying about it on Sunday is not going to change Monday.
Yeah,
that is so true. That is so true. And it's so funny because half the time things that we worry about don't even happen. I mean, sometimes it might be something you truly have a fear of, or things you're not sure how things are going to go. But most of the time, the more you think about it, the bigger you make it. And then it's like, oh, and then what if this? I love when I laugh at myself when something happens and you're like, I know why that happened. You're like, and then this, and then this, and then this. And then you get to, and you be like, oh, that's all it was.
Yeah, that never happened.
It wasn't even all of those things. It was just something very simple. So yeah, that thought, that does take you over the edge because we read books, we watch TV, everything is so grand and so many things. So we add it to when we're creating our own stories and just make it more than what it is. So take that stress off yourself. Take that stress off yourself. Let's see. Are there any takeaways or things that you would say? If I wanted to just be able to calm myself down or come up with some systems, what are maybe a few different things you'd say would be a good starting points?
Self-care that is custom to you, right? So don't do anything that's not you. Like, a lot of people like crocheting. What if you can't crochet?
Now you stress trying to figure out
trying to crochet.
Reading directions,
Right.
looking for needles.
Right. So I always ask,
Yes.
I always clients like, what do you like to do? And go from there, right? If you like to journal, okay, let's journal. But maybe you hate journaling,
right?
Okay, but you like to draw, okay, draw. So I would say, ask yourself what you like to do that already brings you joy, and start from there, right? If you're a list person, you write that list and you put them 2 things that you're going, start from there. I think a lot of times you see these things online and you just feel like you have to do it just like this. And it's like, well, what if you don't like half the things on there, right? That's why I say go back to whatever you liked in middle school. Let's start there. Maybe you was the hula hoop champ. I don't know. Go hula hoop. Do something that is for you, that you enjoy. Start there. Don't try to recreate the wheel and do something that's not true to you. So that's the first thing I would say you have to do. And then always check in on yourself. Like I said, if anything feels off, take a step back and ask yourself, what's going on? Why is this happening? I do that a lot of times. If I'm upset or I feel a little off, I'm saying, what's going on? What's really going on for me? Have that conversation with yourself, and that's okay. And then once you realize what it's really going on, now we can start problem solving.
Okay.
To
figure out what it is. I love those. I love those. Now, what if we have some viewers out here that are saying, all these things resonate with me and I would love to just sit down and talk to somebody, but I don't know who. I'm going to say, you do know who, because you're watching.
Right.
It would be Miss Takeshia. So reach out. How would people reach out to you if they wanted to just have a session with you?
Yeah, so I am on Psychology Today. For those who don't know what Psychology Today, I always describe it as the Yelp for therapists. Okay. So you could just go on psychologytoday.com and you can type in your zip code, or you can type in someone's name. So you got my name, Takeshia Reams. Go from there. There are other directories out there, like Therapy for Black Girls is a big one if you want a therapist that looks like you. You can also start with your insurance. They have you can call them up and just say, I would like therapists in my network, and they'll give you a laundry list, a big old laundry list. And but most of us are on Psychology Today or another like directory. But Psychology Today is the big one for everyone. And then you just call and schedule. They could just call me or text, and then based off my calendar, I'll fit them in. Sessions are usually like 55 minutes. And I know it can be scary at first, but I always tell people, you're getting to know me and I'm getting to know you. And then we set goals. What do you want to work on? Whatever it is. If you want to work on anxiety, work on anxiety. If you want to process grief, we're going to process grief. This is your time. So we're going to work together to accomplish those goals, whatever they are.
I love it. I love it. And we'll have all of your contact information in bio, so you'll have that as well. She does. Yes. So it's a great way to be able to get in touch. So we'll make sure that we add that on, so you guys can just look at the link below and get directly in touch with them. Well, thank you for spending time with us today. I learned a lot. I got some mechanisms. Some coping mechanisms, some words.
So not right now.
Not right now. Get on out. Not right now. Okay, don't add get on out. Not right now. See, I got to work on the tone. That's my part. We got to work on the tone.
By the end of the month, I can guarantee you she'll have a t-shirt. Not right now.
Not right now.
She'll be like, see this?
Oh, I got a shirt that say, nope, not today. I'm going to wear my shirt today.
There you go. There you go.
I knew it. So we thank you for tuning in. Certainly share this episode with someone that you love and care about, because we all need to make sure that we're taking care of each other and ourselves. This world is a little bit crazy nowadays. So, we need to process some things, and it's okay.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we're putting you in front of professionals, people that we know, like, and trust, and can help you and lead you the right way. So share this episode with as many people as you would like. Make sure that you like us
on Facebook,
Yes.
YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, that's it. We appreciate. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section or
Yes.
DM us, and we'll make sure that if we can't answer them because it's something specific, we sure can.
Right.
We'll
Or
make
you
sure-
wouldn't want our answers.
Exactly. We will get in touch with Keisha to make sure we get those answers to you. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.